Hello, hello.
Hello,
Is this the fog machine?
the fog machine, or Mr. Robot, or however it goes. Yes,
Mr.
hello,
Fog Machine.
Mr. Fog Machine.
Or machine robot, I don't know. Okay,
Uh,
let me share my screen and we can get started, yeah?
yeah.
So what's on your mind today for League of Legends? You know what you want to work on, or is it just like not sure?
Um, I want to have somebody with your level of experience look through and see the things that I'm not seeing about the things I'm doing incredibly wrong. I have a feeling the things I do the worst are I'm terrible at skill shot dodging, and I'm pretty bad at knowing where to correctly position in team fights. You're gonna see that in the Caitlyn game in particular, because that game was such a fiesta and I died so many times. Um, but then there's the last game, which was a loss, and it was a loss that I didn't know what I should do at all. So the first
Okay.
game I lost, the Affiliates game, I got a lead, pretty substantial one, and then it all went to crap because the enemy team knew what to do and I didn't. Second game, Caitlyn, I won, but gosh, it was not clean at all, and I want to know what to do better there. And then the third was a stomp of supreme proportion
I
in which
see, I
I
see.
lost. So, I mean, my last three games, I wish I could upload fast enough the last game I played because I felt like it was winnable, but I blew it in the end. So,
Okay, okay. So it sounds like it's a lot of what we should do with the lead, kind of, and
yeah,
like you
what you
said,
do with the
positioning in team
lead?
fights, right?
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean, if
okay.
you see something absurdly obvious I'm doing wrong in lane, then that's obviously great to know because
But you think your laning is like your laning is decent?
I think my laning is usually decent. Um, there are games where I just blow it. Like I'm terrible against catch champions like Blitzcrank and Thresh, but against mages like Lulu and Yumi and Sona and whatnot, I usually don't ever have a problem.
All right. Then
Um,
which of these you want to start with? Which of these three
let's do the
replays?
Aphelios one first, I guess. That's well, yeah, that's not so much laning as it is what happens later, but you can
Okay.
start there and see
Let's
if I'm
fast forward past the laning then, since it seems like most of your problems stem from out of laning, right?
right.
So let's see. This guy's name is Chess Grandmaster. You think he's actually Chess Grandmaster?
I wouldn't know. So yeah, this one,
We have massive lead, like you said.
yes, and it all goes,
Okay, let's fast forward. Kaylin mid, what the hell?
yeah.
Oh my god, you're 5-0? What is going on?
Oh, it goes much higher than that, and yet I
The
still
hell?
lose.
Okay, interesting. Get hit by set ulti? What is going on? How do you lose this game?
Uh,
Wow, you guys pushed top tower all the way?
I think if I'm not mistaken, maybe this is the game that we take inhibs.
Oh, here we go.
Okay,
Here we
I,
go. Here we go. East side. You're
yeah,
taking inhibs and we died at the top inhib and it was disaster. Oh,
yes.
okay. I
Okay,
mean,
yep, we take that one for pretty
sure, sure,
much
sure.
free. This next part, I don't know what I should
Red
do
F.
here. Should I be
Oh,
forcing the
okay.
top open inhib, or should I be backing and trying to do Baron? And
Well, what do you
what?
think? Let's watch this. Let's watch this. I already know what went wrong, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear what you think after you watch this.
Well, that was a terrible flash. That's one. I don't think he fights me here. He backs up, and then I continue to try to force this inhib because I have three people here with me. Though I now notice Blitzcrank has low mana, which I guess I didn't pay attention to before.
Well, maybe you can
Oh wait, he
fist,
did
right? Maybe
back.
you can fist and hook, right? Watching, you guys kill the set. You just right click the shit out of him. Good job. Probably didn't have to ulti, but sure. And this part, which
This is where it goes wrong.
what do you think? I already said I knew it was gonna happen, right? So
Right.
what happened?
Uh, I just ate skill shots and died when we were in a 3v2, and really it was a 1v3 because Echo wasn't interested in committing, even though he had ult.
Oh, hold on. Where are you getting these numbers from?
Did I
How
not
many
see
people on your
Jana?
team? How many people on your team here?
Me and Echo are the only two people here.
Right, so that's not one person, right? That's two people, right?
Right.
How many people do they have?
They have Lucian, they have Ezreal, and they have Jana, who's off the screen.
Is
I
that
think.
all?
Am I wrong? Is that...
So what's the fast? How do you figure out how many people are on the enemy team fast?
I don't know.
There's a very fast way. Okay, I'll give you an easy strategy for figuring out how many people are there.
Right.
If you look at the map,
Mm-hmm.
and you look at how many people are dead. Usually, this is why I put the what's it called? Let me get my pen out. This is why we put the dead people over here on top.
Oh.
Right, so you can see the map and you can see who's dead.
That'd probably be. Yeah, I don't think I ever look at the left side that much. So maybe that is a problem too.
Yeah, that'll be really easy. You could put this guy over here. So
Okay.
if you look at the map and you see how many enemy team is dead, how many
Mhm.
people do they have off the top of your head?
Well, they have 4 people alive since Set is dead.
Yeah, so 5 minus 1, easy. You got 4
Right.
people. So what do you think is gonna happen?
The 4 remaining people are going to come and kill me and the mid laner because
Right,
our 2
so-
teammates are in base. So yeah.
So here's the question. Do you think you can 2v4?
Obviously not. Shouldn't
Oh
be.
yeah, obviously not. Like how that's the thing is how close was this? A scale of 1 to 10.
It wasn't close at all.
It was like a 0 and then -5. It was impossible, right?
Right.
It wasn't even close to a 2v4, right? We didn't even get to kill anyone, honestly, right?
Right.
So that's the first thing is if you wanna did you know first of all, did you even know it was a 2v4 in the first place? First question, right? So I don't know. Did you know?
I didn't think about it. No. So,
okay, so that's the first thing we have to tackle. Because there are things just like you can take a 2v4. It's not like 2v4 is necessarily bad. It's more like how do you know you can win a 2v4?
Mhm.
Right? So there are several ideas. Like maybe you can like one shot someone with your flash and then make it a 2v3, right? Maybe one shot 2 people, right? Something like that. Or like you can be like calculating in your head, okay, my Q is one shot this guy, my ulti is one shot this guy, now it's a 2v2, we can do it, right?
Mhm.
But we didn't even get to that part because we need to know it's a 2v4 in the first place. Right?
Yeah.
So what possessed you to do this? Where did these problems start? What do you think?
The primal urge to take one's open inhibitor.
yeah. So like hitting structures usually, right? Starting objective. So we could say like if our problem is we started a 2v4 and our trigger being the thing you were doing in game, the thing that made you go for this, which is take their open inhib, right? Take a structure. You could say start an objective.
Right.
Then what habit can we have here to make sure we're not accidentally throwing the game?
Make sure that we have at least an even numbers advantage or have the appropriate spells. Because I'm noticing here I didn't have my ult or flash.
Yeah,
So
no-
there's
oh,
no
no
way
flash.
I was going to outplay anything.
Yeah, exactly, right? So yeah, first is numbers, and then you can take stock of your inventory, abilities, and like you said, mana or whatever for Blitzcrank. But that's the first building block is numbers.
Mhm.
Every time you want to start an objective, or anytime you want to start a fight, right? Well,
Yeah.
every time an objective is happening, there is naturally going to be a fight, right? So,
Right.
like even if you kill that Lucian with that
Right.
Q, it's still a
Mhm.
2v3,
Mhm.
right? So that's
Right.
that would be the still having a problem, right? You need to like one shot Lucian and Echo one shot someone, right?
Right. So this
yeah.
isn't game ending a mistake though. The next thing that happens, I feel
what do you
like
think? This
is.
isn't game ending?
I don't think so, because
Who got the shutdown?
Lucian did, but Lucian was. How much gold did he get?
If you
from that?
compare your
700.
How far behind is he?
Yeah, I guess it brought him to at least even with that shutdown.
Yeah, I think he almost caught up, right?
Yeah.
If that's 1,000 gold,
Right.
and you have like 1,600 in base, I think he's almost caught up. He's like 500 behind. He's basically caught up, right?
Right. And
Off
I needed
one
to not
thing.
give him anything because
Yeah,
the top laner was already behind.
Exactly.
Mid and jungle were only
exactly.
even. I was the only one who was ahead, I think.
Like if you give it to Jana, okay, like maybe no one
Sure.
cares as much, whatever. She can fuck up redemption or something, right? But if you give it to like Ezreal, Lucian, Mastery Set, you know, it's probably gonna be a big problem. And you see how like if you make a mistake, what happens to your team?
We just lose.
What's gonna happen? I already know what's gonna happen. What predict the next 10 seconds for me.
Predict the next 10 seconds.
Yes.
I mean, they're going to probably chase after and kill the Echo. And then go try to take Baron because it's up right now.
How do you know they're gonna get the Baron?
Because they have the numbers advantage, and they're stronger because I was the strongest person alive, and now I'm dead. So
Right. The numbers advantage. How do you know they win this fight? Numbers advantage. Once they kill everyone, they start the Baron. Why?
yeah,
Numbers advantage.
Right, Set will be alive, and I'll be dead still.
You see how it just keeps going and going.
Right.
And where did it all start from?
It all started from me doing something stupid.
Exactly. That's the thing. If there's like kind of two ways for something to go wrong in the team, right? Okay, one is we get caught, so we instigated the throw, and then it's up to your team to save it, and it's unlikely for your team to save it because of course it's solo queue, they're gonna run it down. And the second one is your team instigates the throw, and it's up to you to save it, right? So we would always rather be in the second position. We never want to be the guy throwing, right? Hopefully, because now these guys are all fucking dead. Like actually, Diana's trying to turn the 2v4s. It's not happening, right? Like she has to kill everyone here. Oh no, it was not bad, but I think
I'm pretty sure they
good either, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're still going, dude.
Yeah, they really want it.
It's literally this. Is this the same thing? 2v3, right? Off the top of our heads. How do we know?
Because...
Well, actually, Master G's bot 2v2.
Okay, so
right, so we can
just
do that
by
fast.
Chance. Well, and this is the other thing. That Master Yi AFK'd the entire game and did nothing but farm. And then the last fight, he aces us, I think.
Yeah, now he's giga strong because, he spent all that time farming and we spent all that time doing what?
Dying and wasting our time.
Our whole team in the last 5 minutes spent all that time 4v5 at their top inhib, right? Or numbers disadvantage. We say 4v5 is like a fast way to say numbers disadvantage. But you try and fight this guy now, it might be Monka S, right? Oh shit.
Right. I don't think we do.
Yeah,
I think he just ignores me.
And then of course, your team dies.
That's right. This is where this guy is soloing Baron, and I walk up and he nearly two-shots me. I think
how many people are at the Baron off the top of your head?
Just him.
Is it
I
just
know
him?
It's just him. Yes, I had a ward on it. It was just him.
How many people can be at the Baron?
How many people could be?
Yeah.
Well, Lucian and Ezreal are bottom. Set and Blitzcrank are alive. Or is it not Blitzcrank's on my team? Sorry, Set and Janna are alive.
Yeah, same Janna, right? So, what do you think? How many people could be here?
Up to 3.
So,
3.
How many people on your team?
2 people are heading towards it, myself and Echo.
I don't know what your Caitlyn's doing. Your Caitlyn's trolling, right? But
yeah.
So, in a 2v3, what do you think you should do?
In a 2v3, we shouldn't... I forget how strong the Echo is. I just wanted to force it so that they couldn't get the Baron. I thought it was worth the risk.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you could say let's try and stop the Baron, right?
Right.
But that's the goal. You see how it's like, we see numbers, we come up with our strategy, and if we see you flash to try and kill someone, it doesn't make sense because you told me you're gonna try and stop the Baron, right?
Right.
Well, obviously we don't have flash here, right? But that's the idea, is they come up with a straightforward plan. So the instant he gets off it, we're happy, right? So you see how what happened here?
He gets off of it, and yet I'm still walking up instead of starting to kite backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, your whole goal is get off it, right? So how come he almost two-shot you?
Because I was walking towards him instead of starting to walk away from him because we achieved the goal of getting him off of it.
Exactly.
Right.
So I see it's hard to kind of when someone sees this, they're like, oh, okay, obviously you should have kited him, but that doesn't really help you because it doesn't tell you what led you to this circumstance. Right. It was more like you saw him and you tried to kill him, right? Versus, do we count numbers? Do we know what we were supposed to do? And then go do that thing. Right. It's very easy to get caught up in a team fight, right? Like let's say, let's stop the Baron. And then you see 1 HP Janna over here and then you try and flash for it. Everything goes to shit, right?
You'll see that in the next game, how often that happens to me. It happens all the time.
Exactly.
So now we're too low to do the Baron, so that's
fine. Okay, and then he dies. Okay, and we're pushing, and then we're gonna siege this. How come the siege is okay? See this tower. How do we know we can dive?
Because we have waves pushing in mid and top, and we see that Yi is top, so we have a numbers advantage 5v4. Or no, it's 5v3 because Set's dead.
Yeah, see?
Which, again, I wouldn't have paid attention to that in game, so I really should move that over, because I do look at the map a lot now from...
You can also press tab. This works too. You can see instant dead people, right? I like over here a tab. Tab works, right?
Yeah.
But
I I don't take stock of who's dead enough. That's definitely a mistake I made.
Right. Otherwise, how can you count numbers?
Mm-hmm.
So this is an easy habit you can start working on. Every time you want to go do an objective or do something with your team, numbers is first thing you need to know, right?
Right.
And 5v3, so you can run it down. Oh, easy kill, right? Oh my god, what?
Yeah, I don't understand how that didn't kill him either. I
Dude,
guess Infernum ult just doesn't do enough damage when it's hitting one target.
oh my god. Do you know how much crit you have?
Do I know how much what?
Crit you have.
I have 100%. Or no, I have
You do not have.
95%.
You have 90%, I think.
95.
95%.
Yeah.
I want you to watch this auto attack.
It didn't crit. Yeah.
It didn't crit.
It didn't crit the second time either. It actually did explode.
It didn't crit, dude. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I feel like that happens a lot when I ult on.
Oh my. Okay, well that's unlucky. That was a good try on the ulti. That was really good ulti. Okay, what do you think is gonna happen here?
All right, so it's now it's a 3v3. No, it's a 4v. Okay, Diana's dead. I see Blitzcrank and Echo are with me. I can't tell if Caitlin's there. Yeah, I think she is.
Caitlin's here.
All right, then it's a 4v4.
Uh-huh.
It's their base. We do not have Baron, so it's even. But they have they have one wave of super pushing, but it's not in their base. So they have the advantage because of a tower there, right?
I mean, you tell me.
That's what I'm thinking. Is they have an advantage because it's their base where they have a base tower to help fight us, and we're not. The only dive champion we have with us here is Echo. The rest of us just are trying to hit the tower from range to try and knock it down. So with the wave here, I thought we could get the tower before they have a chance to respond. That's what I was thinking.
Tell me what happens in the next 30 seconds before we watch the replay. Based off what you just told me.
What do I think happens in the next 30 seconds? Or I can't remember off the top of my head. I've played too many games since then.
No, yeah. Just try and predict it from here. So it's like this is the habit forming we're trying to do is basically we want an objective, we count numbers, figure out what's gonna happen beforehand. Right?
We'll start it, and we may not succeed in getting it because set will come up before we finish it, and we may overcommit and die. That's what I guess is going to happen.
How is Set going to, what's the worst thing Set could do here? If he's the top laner.
Press R on one of us and landed the giant ult to kill all.
True. Is he going to do that from the front? He could, I guess. But what do top laners usually take for summoners?
Yeah, they flash on us usually, or ghost, or teleport behind us if they have the ward.
Yeah, you haven't seen that before? He's going to teleport behind you in ulti, right?
Right.
But let's say they just come from the front, right?
It's not super common in gold, I'll say that. I don't have a lot of
then don't worry about the TP yet. Don't worry about the TP yet.
I know it happens a lot in your games, but it doesn't happen a lot in mine.
Fair. He's going to come from the front, okay? So, you know it's 4v4 under the tower. It's going to be a 4v5. So, what's the strategy here? What should we do?
We either hit the tower until a few seconds before set comes up, or we retreat and go to Baron or we reset and get vision around Baron. I mean, I don't honestly know.
That sounds good to me, right?
Right.
Why didn't you say go for inhib?
That's true. They have the open inhib mid.
No. Like, why didn't you just tell me go for inhib? You say hit the tower and
because
run.
It's a 4v5, so there's no way we'd get that far unless one of them literally runs it down into us.
What does running it down look like for them?
Getting hooked by Blitzcrank into the whole team. So Blitzcrank lands a hook onto somebody that's very squishy, and we kill them very quickly, instantly.
I agree. That's it, right?
Yeah.
They have to run it down or we're going to lose the 4v5. So towering out, right? I would agree. Let's get the tower and let's run, right? Let's take a look. What happens here?
We get the tower very quickly.
We're going to take tower. We're going to go for inhib. It's going to be a 4v5. You guys die and lose Baron, right?
Yes.
That's average. That's average case, right? He's going to TP behind us maybe. We're gonna have big problems. Oh, or you could guys go for the next inhib. But whatever
yeah,
happens, it's a 4v5.
that's the reality.
Well, whatever
Reality is
happens,
I
it's a
walk into
4v5.
DE and die.
Right? It's like it doesn't really matter what happens. Is that this is average case. We don't have to watch. That's the thing you're trying to work on here. Is this is why we might not be able to close out our games, right? You saw like it wasn't even like a set that was a problem. It was just like something will happen, and this is the natural outcome, right?
Right.
Every time, like you saw how we like literally predicted it before we saw it,
right?
Just by pausing, counting numbers, figuring out what's gonna happen next. And you told me if Blitz did not land the hook, this is doomed, right? I would agree. Or Echo has to one-shot someone, I guess, right? And I don't think you can one-shot someone because you don't have ulti, right? Oh, okay. Then I guess you just lose the Baron now, right? So.
Yes, I'm pretty positive we did just lose the Baron. Yep.
Oh no. Okay, Diana died. If you guys fight, it's a 4v5, right? Okay, 4 good. You guys ran. Good. You see how like 4v5 like 3 or 4 times in a row and it's instantly lost, right?
Okay, this is, I believe what's coming is, yeah, this is a fight.
Oh, 4v5 Diana's top, right?
Oh, wow.
See, we don't have to watch.
I didn't even notice that. Okay,
we don't have to watch.
Now it's a 3v5.
Oh yeah, that's a 3v5. They're diving, right? Didn't we say we dive in a 3v5?
Yeah, I didn't flash.
Oh, we're all fucking dead, right? If you flash, you probably still lose, to be honest, right?
Okay.
They're just gonna dive the next tower. So you see, it's literally the same thing. Is that like not? The
I
same?
shouldn't have stayed that far up. Once I saw the mid laner die, I should have immediately ran away.
So what do we? So we saw that you are 6-0. And it's not strong enough to 4v5 or 2v4 or whatever, right?
No.
Like how strong do we need to be in order to do ban disadvantage fight?
We'd have to be full build already. Well,
is it full build or I think it needs to be a little bit more abstract than that. Because let's say they're full build too.
Oh, then we have to be making it so that we're at an even man fight or we're at a man advantage by picking them off somehow. One of them.
How do you win a 4v5 as an ADC? It's possible. We've seen it. It's been done before, right?
You have to insta kill somebody to make it possible.
Yes, right. So you need enough items to instantly kill someone,
right?
Or items or abilities. Right? So that's basically what we're looking at here today. All right, let's take a look at another one. Which of these you want?
Caitlyn game would probably be the most educational because the other one was just a hard lane loss.
Should we go through lane or?
I feel like I did make mistakes pretty bad in this lane. I'm not 100% sure. I already died.
We already did die once. So.
Yeah, I already died.
Something happened. Well, we got a kill. Something happened. Oh my God, Ziggs Vega. What is this?
That's the.
What the hell?
Fun stuff.
Oh no, we took armor runes. Oh no.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was Caitlyn's or Zig.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
Yeah.
That's for a little. Oh boy.
I didn't flash the trap there. I got caught by the cage. If I flashed the cage, I lived. If I didn't, I died. Which is what.
So flashing is what you want to do here. Is that what you're saying?
I believe so.
So let's say.
Or I mean, trying to walk out of the cage once it started was obviously a bad decision. I could have fought, but I would need to have not been stunned. I could have insta-killed the Veigar if I didn't walk into the edge of the cage. Probably.
What if I told you, we should flash the cage, we should try and dodge the cage? What if I told you that's treating the symptom, not the problem? What would that mean?
Okay. What would that mean? It means that my positioning is bad there in general before we even get to the fact that I got caught by the cage.
Why is your positioning bad?
I honestly don't even know what I was trying to do there because they have a bush that was not warded, so I was walking up for no purpose.
Check it out. This is why we specifically need first person perspective replay so we know what you're thinking. Right? So check it out. What are you trying to do here?
I think I was trying to auto attack the Veigar, but my mouse is right. Right.
How come you're trying to auto him?
Just to get free damage while I'm waiting for the wave to.
There's a specific reason.
Oh, I have headshot up. That's why. Yep.
Yeah, you have headshot up, right? So, what can you tell me about this play now? This example now.
My mistake was not waiting for the right opportunity to punish instead of just trying to go for a random punish.
And what is the right opportunity?
Catching someone with a Morgana binding and then following that up with a trap. And
Exactly, right? So, we're trying to do our own headshot thing.
yeah.
What happens when you don't have a binding? We auto lose, right? You're 1v2.
Right. And
so
I feel like the most of the time that I turbo lose lane, for lack of a better expression, is when I'm trying to do too much on my own without.
Yeah, exactly.
Which in some cases, though, I feel like I have to because, I mean, if your support's not doing anything right, which I'm not saying this one was, then what are you supposed to do in those cases?
Yeah,
You're supposed to just wait and see, like just pray and go even.
let's say she can't land shit, so we can't win, right? So then, because of that, you try and force something, you die. What's the other possibility? Your Morgana can't land shit. What else can we do?
Set up traps in bushes and hope they walk into them.
Yeah, AFK and pray, right?
Right.
So
okay.
is that better or worse than trying to force
you don't
something
lose anything for AFK and praying, so
Yeah.
it's definitely better.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's physically impossible,
Right.
to win if she misses bind. But that doesn't mean you have to die to their thing.
Right. Correct.
So that's basically it. If you try and force it, the reason why it's called a force
Right.
doesn't normally work, right?
Right.
We're sacrificing something. We're sacrificing a lot of something to get like some kind of pray for it to work, right?
Correct.
So,
all right, I understand.
That's the first thing we're seeing here. So, okay, so how do we come up with a way to fix this? So if we know that the problem is, what's the problem actually?
The problem is trying to force something that has no chance and no prayer.
Trying to force without your support's win condition.
Right. That's correct.
Right, something like that.
Yes.
And then what's the trigger? What made you do this?
Just having a ability up that I thought would be useful. So like a headshot. So instead of trying to force like that, I need to be more patient.
Right. We could say we're trying to use our win condition. You think Kaylin's win condition is poking them with headshot, right? So we could say, oh, maybe we could wait for Morgana binding, or maybe even something like, do we know what they're gonna do if you try and headshot them? Right? Because I mean, let's say it's Veigar. We didn't know he was gonna cage.
If we didn't have so it would have been a safer thing to do if like his cage was off cooldown or something.
Right. I mean, imagine this is Blitzcrank. Would you try and headshot him?
Nope.
Yeah, it's more obvious. So I feel like this is not as big of a deal because you normally Veigar, you're not gonna see Veigar as often, right? But that is one thing. You have maybe two ways to try and fix this, right? Maybe one, try and read what they're gonna try and do to you, or two, are you helping your support land their win condition?
Correct.
Right before we go for, or as we're going for these kinds of things.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be the same thing. Oh no.
Yeah, and I didn't think about them hiding in the bush. I thought they'd reset. I don't think I died there.
We lost all our health, right?
Correct.
This is actually a classic. I died to this today too.
I think I had 3 pots though, so I didn't have to reset.
I died to this too actually. So okay, what's the problem?
The problem is we have no information about their bot lane, or at least we weren't paying attention to if they had backed or not. We had no information, so walking up without checking that bush with something is trolling.
So how do we fix this?
We ping the bush and ask the support to help us check it first before we proceed into hitting minions and
right. So frame it in the frame it as like a sentence for habit forming. So every time we do X, do Y.
Every time we walk into lane, we want to find a way to safely check the bushes to make sure we're not getting cheese.
Perfect, right? Because that actually applies to top lane. You ever swap top and jungle is hiding up there? Or the top laner is hiding up there?
That happens to me with the junglers coming into my lane and doing a lane. I've just reset and come back. The jungler will be sitting there waiting. I had no idea.
That's actually a really good one. I like that. Every time you're walking into lane, you gotta find a way to check everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You ever play like FPS games?
Yeah. I played Overwatch and CS:GO a little bit, so.
Oh, CS:GO. Okay, CS:GO. You know, when anytime you're trying to push through anything, they're like hiding, camping in a corner, right?
Right.
It's the same logic, right?
Got it. Yeah.
So, or like you're rotating between, you're trying to rotate and flank them, and of course someone's waiting for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, check everything when you come into lane. That's good. That you could do that too, right? So I don't know how often that you die to that for that to be a problem, but if that is something you want to work on, you could work on it that way, right?
Correct.
I'm coming into lane, make sure we're checking, right? Holy shit, what's going on here? Okay, we can't chase this guy, by the way. This Gragas is coming. No,
I probably didn't
Gragas
think
is
about
coming.
that.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, that's just, how do I know that off the top of my head?
You see him walking down mid-river on the mini-map.
Yeah, but how come you didn't know that? What was the difference?
I probably was tunneled on killing something and not paying attention to the map at that particular moment.
Well, like, what habit lets you do this? Figure out what's gonna happen. Very similar to the habit we're discussing in the last. Very similar.
It's the numbers advantage thing. I mean,
yeah, it's just
the only question is, are you always supposed to assume that the jungler is going to be coming to you?
Well, let's take a look. So remind me, what was the habit we did last replay?
The habit we did last replay is we check how many people we have versus how many.
Remember, frame it in the habit sentence, like every time X do Y.
Every time we want to go in and make a play, we need to check how many people are currently present in the
that's good.
local vicinity.
I mean, sure. Every time I want to make a play, sure.
Right.
So you could say, in this case, are you guys trying to make a play?
Right. We're trying to kill the bot lane. Correct.
Right. It might be, honestly, trying to make a play might be too vague, because before it was like trying to get inhibitor, right? You could, so to be more specific, it could be like structures. It could be its own trigger.
Right. Structures.
And dragon and baron could be their own trigger.
Right.
And in this case, it'd be 2v2 fighting.
Okay.
Right? That's what I did, at least, because I tried to do make a habit for every time I try to make a play, but it was too vague for me.
Okay.
So you could say.
So when I say make a play, I specifically mean those 4 general categories: either towers, inhibs, baron, dragon, or fighting the opposing laners. Those are the categories I view it.
If that works for you, by all means do that.
Right.
That's really good. That's actually really good if you can do that, right? So you can say every time we make a play, sure. Then we need to check for numbers, right? So that's literally the habit I have, right? Is you're trying to fight, I look at the map. What does that tell us?
It tells us that right now, with what we can see, it's just the 4 of us bottom. Our jungler's top, and Gragas is sitting mid right now. Their mid laner is missing. I can't really tell if their mid laner's in lane or not, but right now it looks safe to 2v2 them.
Sure. Right, we could say that, right? And if you could say that's good. Come up with that idea, right?
Right.
Because the more
in
you
that
do
particular case, when we're going to kill the Ziggs, it is safe to do that. But I don't recheck it again when I'm going to Veigar. So that's. I'm not double checking.
Actually, no. This is actually really good, right? Because from an experience standpoint, you say this should be fine. So go execute it.
Right.
And then if it goes wrong, then you can figure out what happened.
Right.
So from my experience, I can tell you like cheat codes. Right? This is you have to do this really fast because Gragas is on the way.
Right.
Because they pushed in mid, so whoever's mid is coming. So you have to finish this by the time they get here. That's just like an experience thing, though. You could say this is fine. We go for this, right? But let's say you play against like Katarina, Talon, Zed, whatever. You'll come to figure out that they come about really fucking fast. Right? So,
no, I've experienced that. So,
yeah. So this is the first step. I mean, this is good, right? You say it's like it looks safe. We can go for it, right? Based on numbers, that's fine, right? That's just the first step we're working on. So it's good. You guys went for the kill. It worked. Everyone's happy, right? Fast forward. You try and push. Greg is coming, right? as we saw earlier. But
Right.
he can't do anything. We push his in, good, we go home. Every Gucci. Kind of feels bad lane though, right? Veigar and Ziggs aren't very fun to lane against.
Yeah. I'm gonna die a lot to random Ziggs Qs out of nowhere.
Oh no, not like this. Sure, fine. This is all fine. I'm more focused on when things happen. That's when we want to take a look. Because usually at this elo, it's big things happen and there's massive gold swing or something, right?
Okay, now I
All right, what do you
definitely
think? What do you think
don't
about
know.
this? What do you think about this?
I see my jungler is pathing towards bot. I'm fairly confident that's the only reason I continued trying to force this. Because my support missed her binding, obviously, so there wouldn't be any other reason to continue going in if that was the case. But I think it's not just my jungler either. My mid laner is also.
Right. And in
So
terms of our habit forming, we were earlier. What does that tell you here?
this should be a 4v2. We should be able to hard win this.
4v2.
Correct.
Are we missing people?
They will be there within, I'd say, 15 seconds if nothing is in their way. Unless my timings are so bad that I've never.
Remember, how do we count numbers?
How do we count numbers? Okay. So are you saying that if I don't know where their enemy team is, I have to assume they're there? Because I don't see the enemy jungler or enemy mid laner. So I had to assume that it could possibly be a 4v4 or in the immediate few seconds of the play as it's about to happen, it could be anywhere from a 2v2, a 3v2, or a 4v2 if the enemy team is hiding in the bushes that we have no vision of.
Right. They could be. You could say Gragas is here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Correct.
we didn't see him. Well, we did see him, but let's say you miss it, so you still have
Right.
to assume he's down here, right?
Okay. Right.
And let's say mid hasn't shown up yet, so mid's on the way.
Right.
Right. And then who else?
My jungler is coming down, Graves.
Right,
And
we have 4 people on lock for sure.
Right.
And they have at least 2.
Right.
Probably 4.
Correct.
Who else can show
up? Their top laner could teleport if they have TP advantage. I can't tell you right
teleport,
now.
But
They have a Nasus. Nasus players don't typically do that from my
experience. They have Nasus? I thought it was a different champion.
I'm pretty positive it's
it's
a Shen. Oh, you know what? Think about that. Yeah, it's a Shen. So he has 2 ways to come down.
So, based off all this
is not a good thing to go. At least not a good thing to immediately try to force without my team being there before we started it.
Right. Well, what's the goal here if we try and make this happen?
The goal is to kill the bot lane and then take dragon.
We can kill their bot lane?
If
this 4v4? 4v5?
The immediate goal should be to one-shot someone. If it becomes a 4v5, then it's potentially doomed unless we one-shot someone.
Right. You gotta start running, right? So you see, it's not like never take fights.
Right.
It's more like, oh, you know that Shen can possibly TP ulti. So take it really slow. And you, like you said, you gotta wait for your team to be here, binding, whatever, one shot. But we can't be like charging in, right? So let's take a look at what happens here. Right? Because we know it's about to erupt into chaos. Oh, what do we notice? I don't know if you noticed something interesting, but something interesting just happened.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Check it out. Look at the map.
We see their mid laner has appeared on the map. She was walking towards mid.
Yeah. So okay, let's go, boys.
Yeah.
Right? It's a 4v4 now, right? This is totally fine, right? So now that's how we know.
Gosh, I would not have looked at the mini map that often to have known that she was doing.
You saw how like Gragas showed up, right? Who else is preparing to come? Look at top here.
Shen is preparing to come. He's walking.
He's AFK in a bush. He's chill. He just pinked word. He's just waiting, right, to TP. But it looks really bad for him. So to see how like we will know what will happen before it happens. That's what you're one of the main things that will help you in that last replay, right? In this replay, everything is going really well, right? Because you know, even though we're not reading the map, things are falling into place naturally, right? Take every fight we see. But you see how like we can figure things out, figure out what will happen before it happens. That's kind of like the main goal of habit building, is being able to like read the future, right? Oh, they still have Shen ulti, by the way. Let's watch this. Good, nice trap follow. Oh my god, you almost got him. Flash! Oh, there's a Shen ulti.
There's the Shen ulti, and I didn't.
And here comes
that
Gragas in Aurelia, by the way, right? So
yeah,
is it the same thing?
I definitely did not check them out this time.
That's shit. What do you think?
That was
worth or not
1
worth?
for 2, not worth.
Not worth, right? Who got the kill? Gragas got the kill. Uh-oh, right? So
Gragas got the kill.
what do you think?
Anzig's got the kill.
Is this sounding very is very repetitive, right? But
Correct.
That's League in a nutshell. League is all about, you see the same patterns with different champions, right? And you will be able, that's how we can predict what's going to happen, is because we've seen it before. Right? We've seen the same pattern over and over again, right? Like when you see this, what's the real goal of this binding here? We can't really kill him because obviously we just saw.
No, we're just trying to poke him down.
Yeah, poke him down, right? Maybe Jabei ganks, Jabei Shen ulti. But like, you see how like the goal is very different. And instead of fighting what you see on your screen, if you know numbers, what you're trying to do changes all of a sudden. Like the whole Master you get the Baron thing. You're not really trying to kill him. You're just trying to stop him from doing Baron, right?
Right.
So that's kind of a main thing I think you could. That's gonna help a lot, because here it's like you're busy like focusing on mechanics and fighting and stuff. Yeah. But then it all becomes like futile because it was just impossible, right?
Yeah, I'm really bad at knowing when to just disengage. We got what we came for. I just want to commit fully and continue trying to kill them. So
right. At what point can you commit fully? In the examples we've seen, all the examples we've seen so far, which examples worked where you committed fully?
When we had a obvious numbers advantage, or we were able to kill them very quickly.
Exactly. Yeah. So there it is, right? So you can't come in until we see that.
Right.
Easy, right?
Correct.
It's just a matter of being able to recognize it in game.
Right.
It's like I promise you're about to flash for that right there, right? So you're walking forward.
I know. I was very much considering it.
Everyone flashes for this here, right? And then every Shen also ults this if he's watching, right? So it's not like it shouldn't really be a surprise to anyone.
I should send that Vagar some RP for saving me for an extra 2 seconds. I was going to flash on that, but his cage stunned me.
Pretty funny, right? Now that we can see it. So it's so I think right now we're gonna look at big number ideas and how we can do this in the middle of the game, essentially, right? Like here's another example. Wow, there's gonna be like a million examples because there's fighting 24/7 at this elo, right? Let's say there's a fight happening here and you want to make a play. What does the map tell you real quick?
The map tells me right here that there's a good possibility that the mid laner could be coming down.
I don't know if you can see in the thing, but he's fighting mode right now. He's fighting mode right now.
Okay. And this is the problem. I don't know if I check the map that often enough to be able to make these split second decisions.
You see, that is the problem, right? Because what did you tell me? What was the habit we want to form here?
Is before we go for a play, we need to make an instantaneous check on who's where so that we can know if we're going to have a numbers advantage before we try to continue the fight.
Is it before we make a play or
during even, I guess.
Every time you want to do X is usually how you what's it called? Okay, so let's say we want to just check the map before we make a play, right? That's not very. It's not gonna. It's gonna be very hard to remember in game, right? It's gonna be really hard to remember in game versus every time you want to do something, make sure to check the map. Is something that you will be able to remember in game. So what is the thing you want to do? Like make a play, right?
Right.
You can tell yourself every time I want to make a play, you check the map, right?
Right.
It sounds like semantics. It sounds like you just changed the wording, but it's actually really important for like I don't want to say like psychological reasons, but like habit forming reasons. It's very vague when you say, oh, just before we fight, just make sure the jungle's not here. Of course, because I've done that before, And then, 2 weeks later, jungle shows up and I'm like, oh shit, we just died now, I guess, right? It should be every time you're trying to fight, make sure the jungle's not here. And, every time you try and fight, you're like, oh shit, where's the jungle, right? It's like kind of identifying the trigger is important, I think, for making habits. So you could say, every time we try and fight, every time we try and make a play, make sure we check the map. Right? But if you're saying the first part is physically looking at the map.
Right.
It's gonna be hard at first because you're trying to play and look at the map at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing is once you've started looking at the map, let's say you do this like 20 times a game. How many times? How many days does it take for this to become a faster and faster habit?
I'd say depending on how often you play, it doesn't take that many days. I don't know what the cycle building a habit is, but it doesn't take that long.
Like a week or less. Yeah, it doesn't take that long. You do it at least 10 times a game, right?
Right.
Hopefully, right?
Yes.
So that's assuming we do this every time, right? Then after you started looking at the map 10 times, then you're like, okay, once you look at the map, what's the next habit on top of that? You say check mid, check jungle, check top, right? And do that 10 times a game, right? And then all of a sudden, you get to the point where, for me, I look at the map and I know it's a 2v2, right? Without having to do any of that.
Okay.
It's all like habit based, right? So that's what we're trying to build up.
The thing I'm gonna have an issue with there is, say I'm playing a champion that has a heavy reliance on following up on something. Like, for example, the goal in this case, or in most catch lane cases, is you want to follow up with a trap underneath somebody if you're close enough. I don't know. Maybe I don't know because I haven't built up the skill or the habit yet. If I can check the map and be paying attention to mechanically put the trap where I need to.
Right.
Seems like doing too many things at once.
Right. Here's the thing. It's like, if we say our trigger is, before we follow up on this binding, check the map, then there's a problem because you say, if he hits the binding and I realize it's a 2v2, but it's too late because I didn't get the trap out on time. Right. That's what we want to prevent. So what do you think? How do we fix that? Because if this is too late, if trying to figure it out when she lands the binding is too late, then how do we do it beforehand? How do we do this habit beforehand?
I mean, you would have to have I guess, either an interval in which you're always checking it during that interval, and then hope that interval happens right before your play, or
that's it. That's the thing. Is the interval thing is interesting. That's the trigger.
Right.
Is what we're looking for. What is the trigger? What is the trigger you need to find in order to make sure that we do our map checks before the bind hits, essentially? What's happening before the bind hits?
What's happening before the bind hits?
Yeah.
The support is walking forward.
Yes, the support is walking forward. What does that mean?
It means that they're aggressively positioning to try and make something happen.
Right.
So they're making an obvious tell that they want to make something occur.
Right. So you could say, we haven't gotten to this part yet, but you will eventually have a habit of read your support when they walk up.
Right.
Right. She's looking for something.
Right.
So every time your support's looking for something, boom, then you insert your habit. Right. So that's actually the advanced version. Is instead of you guys are trying to do something, check the map because you say that's too late. You're right. That is too late. Then the next step is your team is trying to do something, check the map first before it even happens. Right.
Right.
So we can tell it's a 2v2 as this is happening because Morgana's walking up. Check the map. Boom. 2v2. Shen can't come. Okay, we can go. And then as you do that, the bind's midair, and then now we know we have to follow up, right?
Yeah.
So, you're right.
I can definitively see that this is going to make life easier for the team fighting. It's just going to be harder. It's going to be harder for me to make this work properly in lane until I get used to it.
Yeah, lane is really hard, right? But the team fighting is going to be much easier time. I wouldn't worry about lane as much. I think the team fighting is going to be the majority of where you start building this stuff up, right? Yeah. But that is how you do it, right? Is when your support is looking for something, you have to be like, holy shit, where's the jungle? If they're just going for it and they want you to follow up. I'm not following up until I know what's going on, right?
All right.
But that might be too late. So you have to figure out a trigger to make sure you're not too late. My God, Ziggs just died to ulti.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. So
Good
there's
stuff, good
only one
stuff.
other thing I really want to see what your answer is to. When you're playing into a catch lane, and the next video is that,
Okay.
like a blitzcrank or a
But did you
thrush.
want to skip over or?
Well, no, I mean, I just don't know how much time we have left. I was looking at the clock because I stream in definitive windows for a show I do, so I always watch the clock. Anyway,
Ah.
is it more important to be paying attention to the champion and how they're like facing, or do you need to is it better to just be positioning yourself inside the wave to make it as hard as possible for them to hit their skill shots? Because I always feel like whenever I'm in an awkward spot where the wave has moved up too far and they've come behind it so that there's nothing between me and them, I always get hit by a skill shot 90% of the time.
Let's see if we can. Let's see if I have an example here. I'm gonna show you some examples of dodging skill shots. I want you to tell me what you think, right? Because it's always easy to come up with like a theory of how it should work, but how do we reproduce something that already works, right? We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to copy what already works.
Mm-hmm.
Find it real quick. Forward, fast forward, fast forward. So here's a good example. Vel'Koz is a catch champion, right?
Yes.
Poke and catch, and Ezreal is also all skill shot, right? So let's take a look and see if we can see some good examples here where we're dodging stuff. They said one idea was the first idea
Hide in the
was
wave.
yeah, hide in the wave or what? What do you
Or
think?
react to the direction that their champion is facing before the skill shot comes out. So you
Right.
wanna.
So what do you think based off this example? How is this possible?
That was really fast. So
Okay, back it up, back it up. Yeah. It is really fast.
his champion was facing to the right, and you immediately started. So that's why that was so obvious. I mean, that was also one of the. Yeah, I mean, that's how you dodge the Ezreal ult so easily, but that's a channeled ability, so it's super obvious which direction he's throwing it. Oh. In this case.
Well, focus on Vel'Koz's part because you wanted to focus on catch champions.
Right. Okay.
So in this case, this is like the blitz hook, the pike hook, whatever. There's nothing in between that we can block with.
Correct.
And there's no forced out.
Mm-hmm.
Can't force a flash out.
Right.
What other outs can we do? We can heal
Net.
out, maybe.
You have net and you have heal.
I can net. If you're insane, you can net. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I'm
right?
not. Not at
Yeah,
all.
I'm not that insane either. Yeah. You can net, right? But I would prefer heal. But I didn't even use heal, right?
No.
So how do we dodge this?
Let me watch it again, just because I feel like I must be missing something obvious.
Do half speed here.
Okay, yeah, I can't see what it is you're trying to get me to see, I guess.
Well, this is just like a classic dodge skill shot, right? How do we copy this? That's the idea. How do we
I'm
copy
not sure.
this? What's the command? Oh, here we go. Here
There
we go.
it is.
50.
There it is.
So we're looking at the Vel'Koz.
Right.
Vel'Koz E, right?
Right, here he comes.
How to reproduce is
How to reproduce.
because League is all about patterns. This is gonna be the same
Right,
pattern.
his
for
champion
every
is
skill shot.
facing to your right. And you're walking to the left. Well, see, but in that instance where he shot those two skill shots at near the same time, he was facing away from you and then suddenly turned around.
Yeah, he was facing away, right?
Right. So I'm not sure in that case how you knew which direction he was going to throw it.
Okay, here's a hint. Here's a hint.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, here's a good hint. Okay, let's fast forward a little bit. Speed real quick, and fast forward probably this Vel'Koz part. I'm gonna pay attention to this trap.
A trap. Yes.
Why did I put that there?
Because Ezreal is trying to kite in that direction.
Where did he go?
He went straight onto it.
How come?
Alrighty then.
What happened?
You predicted that he would try to escape in that direction, and so you
Right.
put the trap there.
It's not black magic. You can
No.
reproduce this, right?
No, and I do.
The keyword,
Okay,
the keyword you
the
said.
whole putting the trap in the direction they'll go. If I'm ahead of them enough in terms of like my movement in relationship to them, I do know to do that. It's
No,
just
but
that
what you said was predict going
that.
to E in that direction.
Yes.
Yeah, let's back it up. Just predict, watch Vel'Koz and predict what Vel'Koz would do.
He wants to hit you with something in this case, right? In this case, he wanted to hit you with that. So you knew that he wanted to hit you that. So you didn't stop to attack something. You just you moved it instead.
Ah, right. So somehow
you waited to continue attacking until after the spells had come out. So
right. And how do we debate a spell?
I don't necessarily know.
Look at my mouse movements.
Right. So you're moving back and forth, left, right, left, such. And now you are moving to the left. I don't know. In the instance right before he shot it, I guess you were moving to the right. Then you continued and only moved to the left. I'm not sure how that baited him to go that way.
Okay, so here's a question. When do you throw a skill shot? An important skill shot like
usually the best time I think is to throw it whenever they're doing something that makes their champion stop. So when an ADC is auto attacking, that's a window in which they can't move or do anything else. They cancel
so
it
when you're convinced you're gonna hit them essentially, right?
Right.
Big example. Watch this. When is Blitz convinced to hit me?
He's gonna hit you right at the end of your net.
Right at the end of the net. So what do we do?
You immediately start pathing away. You don't try to continue attacking him.
Right, exactly. It's a guessing game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what your opponent when your opponent is gonna throw the skill shot? And he's always gonna throw the skill shot when he's convinced he's got you. So how do you trick him into thinking he's got you? That's basically the answer you have to figure out. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So in this case, this is a classic. Literally no flash, no heal. How do we dodge it? How do we convince him we're gonna get hit?
By doing an ability in which you're going to be stuck in place for a second potentially, or you hit him with the net, and so that is a tell that you would want to hit the you hit the headshot. So
okay, when's Blitz gonna hook?
He's gonna want to hook you right at the end of the net.
How come he didn't?
Because he was slowed, or he didn't think he was in range.
Yeah, he didn't think he was in range, right?
I think he was in range.
He could have, right? He could have gone for right at the end of the net, but he didn't know the net was coming out. So then, when's the next time he's convinced?
When you go to auto him for the headshot.
Is it?
Oh, when you path to the right.
Yeah, when I path to the
randomly to the right. Okay, so when you path to the right immediately, he thinks, all right, well, because it's a corner and you have to walk around the corner, there's a definite window where he thinks he...
Exactly, right? He's convinced this is it, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to run away, this is it. And that's when you turn around.
Okay.
Right? You see how, like, it's a clean dodge, right? It's literally, this is the same thing every time. So, let's go back to this example. This is more classic, I guess. How do we convince Vel'Koz to throw out her skill shot?
By using your Q was the first thing to make her throw out her Q. But then you start walking towards the wall.
Sure, you can say.
Oh no, you auto attacked the Ezreal, and then she thought you were going to continue auto attack.
Right, anything like that, right? You could say auto attack debated. Here's the easy one: click sideways, and then immediately do the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the easy way to debate the skill shots. Right? Have you ever seen Vayne run this way and then tumble backwards? Like tumble in the opposite direction? You want to convince them you're going a certain direction. It's an easy way to do it, right? So that way they think they're going to hit you, and then you're already dodging before the skill shot comes out. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to this example, and then you said they had a catch champion. Let's see if we get hooked here. Here we go. Perfect. Perfect example. What do you think? How do we reproduce?
How do I reproduce? So, and I was pathing down. I should have immediately switched directions back to up.
Okay, and when do you do it?
When he walks up, when he's currently positioning to try and get around the wave. So as he's going to position around the wave, we know that he's trying to make a play. He's trying to hook me. So in this particular case, that's when I needed to immediately switch directions. I was walking in. Right? So when right around here, like right around now, I should have switched directions because I'm facing down towards the tower, right? Whenever he got to around the edge of the wave, I needed directions then.
And why is the edge of the wave important?
Because that's when he's clear to not have a minion in his way.
Okay, so when they have the opportunity to land their important skill shot.
Right.
You say when you're convinced their skill shot's coming out.
Right.
What do you do? Change opposite direction.
Right.
So this way or this way. Perpendicular is easy way.
Right.
Easy. Correct. Literally every time they're trying to throw their catch ability at you, perpendicular direction. Just pick one.
Okay.
Right? And you see how if you don't, he just fires it down the middle. Right?
Right.
It's exactly when you thought he was gonna hook. Right? Except for us, we try to hit him instead of trying to dodge, right? So that's the main idea. When you're convinced they're gonna throw it, dodge perpendicular or flash, right? Either one is good. Flash is like kind of brainless, but for manual dodging, right?
This lane in particular that I'm playing in right here, I think I give him too much respect in a lot of the parts, and I end up losing like, 20 minions to the tower because last hitting with this champion early game is really hard.
Yeah, true.
So, like anytime the wave is pushed up too far and he's in the bush and I can't see him, I'm just walking back to tower, and I don't know if that's the right thing to do because I'm just giving up and hoping that my jungler comes, which in this case I'm playing with a funnel team and the funnel team lost, so I was doomed to yeah, that one right there was I didn't think that was gonna hit me, so I didn't even react to it.
Right. How come you didn't know it was happening?
I was focused on the cannon minion that was about to die.
Exactly.
And I somehow missed it.
All these concepts are kind of intertwined, right? You know, every time you want a minion, he's gonna throw a skill shot. That's your chance to dodge right before the skill shot comes out, right? So and then as all this is happening, are you checking the map for the you see how it's like all connected, right? Just you have to work on pieces of it at a time, right? So if you want to work on the skill shots thing, which I think is actually really good, right? This would be
my biggest laning weakness by far. Like my friends that play with me all like, you can't dodge skill shots to save your life, and I'm like, you're right, I can't.
Right when you're convinced they're gonna throw it. You see this? He's gonna throw it up, right? And then he doesn't throw it. He's gonna throw it again down, right? You see how that works? So that's kind of how you will be able to dodge. Is you gotta go in the other direction. Oh, he's gonna throw it right now. You gotta dodge up, right? But he was in the other bush. Oh, and then we got hit by the Varus ulti. Oh no!
I don't think
so
I died
it looks like
from
there's
that.
I actually don't know how you did that.
Because Varus had no mana.
What the hell? That's actually insane. I can't believe you didn't die. That's.
I don't know. Wait. Oh, that's right. I didn't have exhaust. I'd healed that game.
So close. Holy! They don't have ignite either, right? Nice heal. Yeah. How do we beat this now?
How do we beat that?
Yeah, how do we beat this? Based off our mechanical habit we're talking about.
I was pathing up when he was looking to make a play, so I needed to path down immediately after.
And what's something we're missing here? We're missing a step here, right? Because do we even know what Varus is doing?
He was hitting the minions a second ago. Which Varus ulti goes through minions, so it's harder to tell when they're going to use it, other than they're level 6 and they have the ability off cooldown or on. Yeah, those are your only two pieces of information to go off of.
Right. So when do you think he's gonna throw it?
I'm amazed he didn't throw it when I went toward that bush. That's what I thought
Exactly.
was gonna.
That's you. People can target that. You're gonna go where the bush. He's gonna throw it, right?
Right.
So you just have to be. Anytime you want to do something,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be paying attention to
Right.
the people who can catch you the whole time. He gets to pick when he gets to throw it, right?
Yeah.
Then what's winning in this case?
Winning
Let's pretend the jungle's not here. We figured that out already.
Right.
So how is this? How do we turn this into winning?
By making him miss, and then we will have the advantage in ultimates and spells
How do you make a miss?
by changing directions down in that particular case. But the case is there's Blitzcrank there, so
Well, what else can we do here?
flash.
Yeah,
I should-
we can force a miss, right?
Right. Which I don't even know why I didn't. I'm bad at remembering to flash sometimes.
Well, you don't know that you didn't know Flash was winning. How do we know Flash is winning? After the fact. Like here. If we flash it, we win. How do we know now? The next time.
Because we've made him miss a critical cooldown, so when we wouldn't have been chunked super hard by
This
his
is something
damage.
really interesting here.
He's full health, and that ult made him go to 0 mana or very low.
Right,
Okay,
right. So
yeah, that's something I didn't pay attention to either.
Yeah. It's really interesting, right? Because if he has no mana, he literally cannot kill you.
Right.
And if we force the flash, flash his ulti. His ulti wasn't even good in the first place because if you flash it, we win. But that's the thing. We don't even know. We didn't even get to that part yet because we didn't know we wanted to flash in the first.
And that's the lethality Varus too. So that's the one where he's super reliant on his cooldown.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he doesn't do damage with auto.
But step one is, we need to know they're gonna throw their ability. What are we gonna do? You have to know what you're gonna do before they throw.
Right. And that's something I struggle with, is making sure I know what I'm gonna do before it happens.
Let's see. Do you want to see more examples of this, or have we gone over this bunch?
No, I think I think you covered it with this. I think I'm starting to at least understand the idea of what I need to do better.
Let's keep going then. See some of the team fights. That's probably where I'll end off on the team fighting stuff. What do you think of this?
Okay.
We already know what's gonna happen, right? What's gonna happen?
It's a 5v4 and it's doomed. So why do I even try to come up here? Is the funny part.
What should we do in this?
Not walk up like I'm doing.
Definitely not walk up, right? Definitely
because they just ignore. Well, they kill the set and then they come after me.
There's no way you can do anything. It's a 4v5, right?
Oh, yeah, I did not check the numbers there. Nope. Yep.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Okay, so stop there. You need to check numbers. So instead of don't worry about could I have won the 4v5 or not. What matters is, did you know it was a 4v5 in the first place, right? And then you can get to the next step, which is what do I do knowing the numbers now? First step is you have to always count numbers. Second step is come up with your plan after you know the numbers.
Right.
And maybe another step after that is exceptions to the plan. Like we get a one shot somehow, right? You see how it just keeps building and building, right? And you go reverse. How do they reverse Uno card us, right? Right. So, but the first step is, do you know numbers? So we already know you lost this. Is 4v5. Master Tarek didn't get enough, right? So there's really no exceptions to the rule. It's very, very rare. Not that there's no exceptions, but it's 10% of the time rare, right?
Right.
So, oh no, what's happening here? What do you think?
This is a 3v5, or actually
3v5?
no. Did Yumi get to me? Yeah, because set's top, so it could be a 4v5.
4v5, and we're under tower. What do you think you should do?
Be positioned back so that we can punish if somebody goes too far in, but
that looks like a punish to me, right? This Blitz is trolling. Right? So it's a 4v5 under tower, maybe we can take it, right? But it's too hard, so we can't. That's fine. You see how it's literally nothing should surprise you. That's what you're aiming for with all these habits, is nothing in the game surprises you, right? Like they're throwing hook, right? Or getting ganked or 4v5 or anything like that. Outcomes should not surprise you either. Right? It's all kind of expected. Right? Oh no. What happened here?
I didn't flash again, but they Yeah, in the end, I didn't flash there, and so they landed ability.
What's the problem here?
They insta-killed somebody, and I was still too close to them because it's now a 5v3 because it's me, Yumi, and Set. Their Set's still too far away to do anything, so it's really a 5v2 or.
Whoa. Okay, numbers based off of how we counted them.
How do we account them?
Based on like who could possibly show up.
Who could possibly show up? In this case, myself, Yumi, Yi, and Set are alive, and their whole team is.
Right. So that's 4, right?
4, right.
He will show up. He's not unless he DCs, right?
Right.
They have 5 people, right? So what do you think they're gonna do?
So they're going. In this case, they are trying to force dive one of us.
Yes, right? You're gonna try and dive. And that's when you read the skill shots, the blitz hook, the driving combo, all that stuff, right? So I want you to watch this fight and focus on the fact that it's 4v5 and they're gonna try and force on you. How do they do it?
They look for the first person that's too close and low enough HP to be one shot. In that case, it was the Yi because he was below half.
Right? So what do we do wrong here? What do you think?
We continue to try and hit the champion instead of fully commit to running away.
Right.
Yeah.
I know why are we running? It's a 4v5, right? It's a 4v5 that's going as expected. We're still losing, right?
Correct.
So that's the idea. Is right now many players' default is just fight until the death. Right? Fight until the end.
I'm definitely guilty of this all the time. So yes.
If you had survived here, what do you think was gonna happen?
There's a possibility I could help if Set made a big play into the tower or something like that, but outside of that, I had to wait, and they took inhib, and I was.
Oh, are they taking inhib?
I think so.
This comes from experience, but these minions die and they're stuck in our base. And Tarek spawns. You take a 3v4 with them in our base, and one person's like really low, right? So that's the thing is that like you'll eventually get there. Once you start counting all the numbers and stuff like that, right? And another wave came in. Feels bad, but that's the thing is, do you know what to expect based off? First is numbers, and then what do you expect based off numbers? Because you see, like if it's 4v5, it literally always goes the way we think it is. 4 people lose unless some exception happens.
Right.
Okay, fast forward. This game's kind of doomed though, right?
Yeah, no. If you wanted to get better, like. You can go back to that Caitlyn game because there were tons.
Let's finish this one up on the team fights, and we'll call it.
There were tons of them all over the place in this game, and I definitely played like a monkey and didn't count. So, plenty of examples.
Wait, do you have any questions about stuff we haven't covered yet? We're finishing this up.
I'm sure I'll come up with them, and I'm processing a lot of information right now, so I'm not sure yet what I have questions on.
Okay, oh baby, what do you think?
This is a 4v who knows how many because our Mordecai.
Well, take your time, right? We're gonna have to do this every time in game, right? So
Mordekaiser's bottom lane, but I'm pretty positive he teleported before this fight.
That's quick bats, 5 on your team. How about their team?
How many on their team? There are 4 on their team because Shen is dead.
Boom, easy. Do we want to start Rift Herald or not?
I would think yes, but
yeah, go for it, right?
Right.
Easy. 5v4, let's go, right? If something goes wrong, you can go examine and VOD review. Right? So this is automatic win. We don't have to watch. Unless Aurelia literally one-shots someone, right? We don't have to watch, right? Graves killed a guy, we take the Rift Herald. Go defend mid. Everyone's happy. Oh my god, Barrett spawned!
Yeah, it was too late. No one wanted.
Barrett spawned. Yeah. But you see how like the idea was consistent. It's literally the same thing every time, right?
Okay.
Okay, and then what do you think? You start the dragon. What's gonna happen? Tell me.
Right now it's a 5v4 until Ziggs comes back up.
Yeah, easy clap, right? Go. And Aurelia has no TP. 5v3, right? Yo, start the dragon. It's easy, right?
Right.
Just do this over and over and over again. Right, and then you just win, and then prevent the 4v5 is easy, literally easy clap. Like look at how many times the enemy team dies to 4v5. The Ziggs literally just walked up and died, right?
Right.
And this Gragas is dying as we speak. Alright, he actually got away. Oh my god, your team is dying. Holy shit. Well, they are losing. Oh my god. Almost all died. Almost all died. Nice. Oh, interesting. What do you think is gonna happen here?
Well, since they were all low, they are resetting. So we can get this for free because it could become a 4v3 situation. But right now, this is currently free because they just all got low and had to.
Right, they all have the base, but then they're all gonna come back. So tower and gone, right? Tower now, easy.
No. Oh, I remember what I did here.
What do you think?
I did this because the window in which most of the players I play with, they typically, and I was guilty of this until I realized it. When you're in the edge of base, it's actually faster to walk back to spawn. I'm pretty positive if I timed it right. So a lot of players still make the mistake of going to their inhibitor tower and then recalling. And so I was trying to catch the Ziggs who I thought was still going to be sitting under his inhibitor tower.
Well, how do we know this doesn't work nowadays? Like, let's say you stop his base.
Well, now I know it won't work because Irelia is there.
Well, is it Aurelia or?
Well, it's Aurelia and.
What did you tell me? What do we know based off of?
Well, no, we have a numbers potential disadvantage coming up. There's only 3 of us and there are 4 of them. Yes. Unless we insta kill somebody.
Right.
Which the plan was to insta kill the Ziggs if I could.
How do you do it? How do you force it?
I have to land a Q or something onto him, but he's out of range, so it's not possible.
Is that a good plan to base your 4v5 off of?
No.
Yeah, not really, right?
No, you're
right. What's the expected outcome?
We lose.
Default loss, right?
Right.
That's basically it, right? It's literally the same pattern over and over again. You can frame this in any situation, like, oh, you have more people, can we dive, right? Or like in this case, your top has TP, can we do a 4v4 with this bigger spawning? Spoilers, you can't because he just runs with home guards, right? So it will actually be the same. It will be exactly what you predict, 9 times out of 10, based off numbers, right? So that's kind of the main point I think gonna help you the most to prevent these kind of throws, because it seems like you get a lead a lot of the games, right? Like here you have 8 kills, you have items, right? And then in every single game something like this happens.
Right? It does happen quite often, yes.
So how do we prevent this? This is the solution, right? We need to come up with habits. Like you said, every time you make a play, count numbers, and then once you can do that, every time you make a play, count numbers, predict what happens, right? And then the habit on top of that is every time you make a play, count numbers, predict what happens, and then say what are the exceptions.
Right.
So yeah, right now it's just count numbers because we know this is giga loss. I don't care what happens here. It's giga lost, right? And then take Baron after you guys all die, right? Like we don't have to watch. It's like, oh my god, wait, did we get this baby? Wait,
I died.
Wait, we still died.
Yeah, no, you were still right in the end. They did end up showing up.
I was like, holy shit, he ran it down, but then we still died somehow, right? You see, it's like, wow, an exception actually happened, but then we still died, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that insane? So you add that to the list of like, really need some giga exception in order for this to work, right? Holy shit, Sid dying. No, he's out.
No.
You see how the game is very predictable unless some super in play happens, right? What do you think is gonna happen to the Ziggs?
He's dead.
Yeah, how do we know?
Because there are 3 people surrounding him, and his Veigar is piecing out.
Well, besides that, but remember, what's our default habit now?
He's in a 1v. He's in a potential 2v3, 2v. Yeah, he's in a 2v3.
How many people? Not 2 people.
It's him and Veigar alone because him and Veigar are there.
This is a better picture. Aurelia's bot.
Right? Yes, so Aurelia's bot, Gragas is top.
Well, we didn't see Gragas yet.
We see him in a second, but yes.
Right, true. But how do we know we can Giga Force this?
Because how do we know that we can force this?
Remember, what do the numbers tell us? How many numbers are here?
The numbers tell us that there are 3 people immediately there. Right?
Your team, then their team, fast.
I mean,
that's the order.
5 people are up on both teams.
Yeah, but who could be here,
Who can be there? Only 4 people could be there because Irelia is showing.
Right? And on your team, how many people can be here?
All 5 of us. Well.
Right, so unless Aurelia gets here super fast or something, we win. Just go, right? Just pull the trigger. So is this
okay? Now I get what you're saying.
Does this answer your question of commitment? Yo, we commit to this. This is a 5v4, right?
I get it. Yes.
Giga commit, yo. And then you see Gragas, everyone flash, kill them all Baron, right?
Yes.
That's all we need to know. We saw Gragas, just run him down. Like, oh Shen, we know Shen ulti doesn't work, right? It's still a 5v4, right? Oh, now Aurelia's coming. It's still 5v4. Let's keep going, right?
Right.
See how Gragas is giga chasing? Why does this work? We have numbers, right? Okay, he kind of inted it, but it still worked. Right?
Yeah.
Average cases is gonna work. And then how do we know we can Baron? Oh, it's still, I mean, it's a 5v3 now all of a sudden, right?
Correct.
So it's literally the same thing. Gragas is trying to stop you guys. See this?
He's a funny guy.
When one person runs it down in the 4v5, the whole team runs it down. Right? So for us, it's punish them for running it down and also not be the guy running it down.
Right.
And all of a sudden, all these fights will go in your favor. This Aurelia's trolling, by the way. That's not a one shot, so you win, right?
Right.
Hold up, that was really close, but it was not a one shot, so we win. Easy, easy, easy. You see, it's literally the same thing, right? Over and over again.
Right.
That's what you're going for. You want to get to the point where you know what's gonna happen before it happens, right? I want you to watch your replays and see if you are working on this idea.
This man literally walks into that trap.
You're getting baited, by the way.
I feel like you're
getting baited. Run.
I was getting baited. All right, that makes sense.
How do we know you're getting baited?
Because their whole team is not alive. But we see Irelia in the side, but we do not know who the rest of their team is. So the best case scenario here is this is a 3v4.
Yes, correct. Right, 3v4, unless Set has TP. Right.
Correct.
So there you go. And then you ask yourself, what do I want to do here, right? So it would definitely not be. We can maybe hit him, but we definitely don't chase, right?
Right.
We say, oh, okay, we go dragon.
We forced his flash, so we're backing. Which
yeah,
exactly. I did that without really thinking about
it. This oh shit, what's happening? Oh no, what do you think's gonna happen here?
This is now a 3v4. I'm gonna be 5 in a minute.
It's 3v5, right? So how do we win a 3v5?
We don't. We want to get away.
Yeah, we need to run, right?
Possible.
You need to land like 10
pretty sure I do.
something.
Just
no, we're not running hard enough, yo. We need to run. Okay, nice. They got scared of the super minions.
Yeah, I was just minions. And so I'm not sure if I'm supposed to this. And I usually, whenever I see a Doom fight happening that close to me, I usually try to see if there's an exit frag that's possible. Like if somebody gets super low and they're close enough, I will try to like get the last hit. But I knew that was doomed. By the way I'm playing, it seemed like I was trying to stay away from it.
Check it out. How could you have died here?
How could I have died there if Shen had flash or Gargas had flash and they flash CC'd me? Yeah.
And what do we learn about 4v5s? Flash on them, right?
Right. So
if you have mana advantage,
if they can.
Exactly. If you have mana advantage, you force, right? So easy. So that's the thing is, then you get to the ideas like, okay, 4v5 they're gonna try and flash on me, and you like flash predictive flash, right? You can start getting to that crazy kind of stuff. But yeah, it's exactly what you're looking for, right? And here's a secret. If there's a way to win on ADC, remember, if you win on the 4v5 as a Philios, how strong do we need to be in order to one-shot someone, right?
Right.
So you need a Q or ulti. On Kaylin, how do you one-shot someone?
You have to have them on a trap, and you have to have your E and Q up.
Perfect, right? So you gotta run until you find that, right? So it's all kind of connected. But step one is how many people are here, right?
Correct.
Oh, hold up. This Monka S. Oh, exhaust!
Yeah,
nice!
Oh, that's right. I did exhaust.
You need to run. Oh shit! Nice. We killed his ass. Nice solo kill. Hey, that was the exhaust coming in clutch, right?
Yes.
Instead of heal, you definitely die with heal.
I find that heal only helps in like the first or second fight in lane, and then every exhaust is useful, except for if they have a really long range advantage, then it's not
exactly
helpful.
Oh my god! See, this is how you know this Graves is boosted.
Right?
How do we know?
Because he's continuing to try and fight, even though there's a huge man distance.
Right? And he pinged you, right? He pinged you, right? Oh, what an animal! Okay, so yeah, don't listen to your teammates' pings at this elo, or actually any elo. Trust in yourself. and you only do things based off your experience, right? So if you're like, okay, you see this? Oh, this is a 3v5, 3v4. How do we win a 3v4? I need to land a trap. Can't land a trap, no mana. Okay, I'm out. See, easy.
All right.
Easy thinking. Right? It's all habit based. Eventually.
No,
fast forward and fast forward. Okay, let's watch this. What's going on here? Some insane shenanigans are happening here, right?
Yep.
Yo, your whole team's dead. It's a 2v4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sure, we can kill this guy. Nice headshot. Okay, this is somewhat doable. You have 5 traps. This is doable, right?
Right.
Pseudo doable and a flash. Yeah, there's no fight happening. Good. Yeah, when in doubt, just don't 45, right?
Right.
Right. Fast forward. This is looking a lot better than the times where 4v5 happened and you died, right? How come it's looking a lot better? What's the difference between dying and not dying in a 4v5?
Having your cooldowns available to help you.
Right? Having cooldowns like flash.
Right.
Also, what happens to your income?
You're able to continue to farm and continue to gain gold.
Yeah, like remember that Graves died? You made so much money since then, right?
Right.
You got a kill, you got like 2 waves. Yo, you're like 90% crit on your next base. Also, what do you think's gonna happen here?
I'm just trolling being that close to 3 people by myself. And I took a random Q from a mile away
Well,
from
it's
him.
not necessarily trolling, right?
I'm positioning poorly because I'm positioning towards the side where my traps won't help me, which is bad.
True, but think of it from like a habit standpoint that we've been building today.
I mean, I'm at a numbers disadvantage right now.
Well, how come?
Because there are definitely 3 of them there. Potentially 5 of them can. Actually, no, only 4 of them could come Shen's bot.
Oh, you said a key word. What's Shen do?
Oh, that's right. Shen has R. Never mind.
It's 3v5, right?
3v5, yes.
It said as TP. Any TPs? What's the numbers looking like? 3v4.
3v4. Yeah.
That tells you all boom. That tells you all you need to know.
Right.
It's not like the whole, positioning too close to traps or whatever. Well, that will matter if you're trying to kill her off a trap, which I don't think you can, right? But that's the first step, right? Numbers will always be your first step in order to figuring out if you want to fight, right? So you see how like you're trying to trap her because she's gonna queue a minion. Like we're not even getting to that part because you need to know it's a 3v5 first before you want to do something like that, right? Because if they force on you, we're gonna have a really bad time. Oh, okay, she didn't make it. Nice. Oh my god, we're gonna actually kill this Ziggs. Kill this guy.
Yes, I did.
Okay, nice. Now we win. Easy money. Yeah. Good stuff. So in a 3v5, what's another way to win?
Insta kill somebody.
Well, we didn't insta kill Ziggs, right?
No, we didn't. Or catch somebody in a really bad spot where their team isn't willing to commit with them.
Yeah, you could say like catch someone, right? You basically just take from this example and come up with something. Right. The one I come up with is they couldn't engage on me, right? Something like that, right? Well, yeah, you could say catch someone is good, right?
I had the Morgana shield on me, so
yeah, they couldn't catch you, so we auto win if we hit someone.
Right, and I mean I still
exception.
have flash up and such, so
exactly. Now this is 4v3, right? We can fight this. Let's go, boys. Just don't die. Easy money. Oh no!
Really
okay, no, it's doable. It's doable.
Nice champion.
The champion is not fair. Oh my god,
man.
you almost killed his ass.
What's
he, by the way?
And I didn't even think to press R. That's.
It's hourglass. It's hourglass. What? Okay.
It just doesn't do enough damage to him.
He thought he wasn't dying. Oh, he stepped on the trap. Kill his ass. Ah, nice. Oh my god, this shit on me. Yo, you gotta run. Oh no! It's always the Shen ulti, huh?
Yeah.
He's gonna.
In this particular game, that is true. I'm gonna die to this.
You're actually dead AF. The Shen has flash probably, right?
No, the Ziggs are that I didn't dodge.
Fortunate.
Yeah.
Oh no!
The slowest skill shot in the world, and I just went, I'll walk in a straight line.
Well, what do we know now about skill shots?
Change directions perpendicular to the way that it's
When
coming.
do you do it? When do you do it?
When do you do it? When they think that they're going to hit you. When they think that there's no way they can miss.
Yes, right.
Which in this case, I'm going towards a corner.
Perfect, right? You just go like this, instantly dodge, and you would not have gotten hit, right? Because if you look at where he's throwing it.
And I'm clicking really far.
Oh, actually, he threw it in a perfect spot. You can't dodge it. Oh no, he threw it really well. But that's the idea, right?
Okay.
Right when he throws it, change direction.
I can't remember why I decided to go down that way instead of just up the lane.
Just Giga Chaos now. Okay, fast forward.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, this was just dumb. This is me just thinking I had a way of hitting him over the.
Oh, it really is. You're gonna get flashed on. Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! You did have. Good try. Honestly, it's good to look for proactive ideas, right? But now you know they're just gonna engage on you, right?
Yeah.
It's a good try. I'm not as worried about this, to be honest. Right?
Right.
I'm not as worried about this. I think the 4v5 thing is a lot worse. This is becoming like a when it's even numbers. How do we win with even numbers? Right? Don't get hit by important abilities when you're trying to hit people. Right?
Right.
Oh, your team started a 4v5. That's not good.
No.
Oh, of course you lose the 4v5, right? Because that's the expected result. So you see how like if we make a big mistake, team is gonna start running it down.
Right.
And okay, let's just see one more team fight before we wrap it up.
Right. I think that last one was the last. Oh no, I'm at 8 deaths. I died 11 times, so no, this is not the end. I remember how many times I died.
Promise you, they will mostly be the same, right?
Right.
Oh boy, here comes Veigar and Ziggs, right?
Yeah, and I didn't notice,
Veigar and
so
Ziggs.
I died.
Gragas too. Oh no. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Oh no.
Really
It wasn't
great.
even a numbers problem. It was just they just killed you. It would have been a numbers problem though, eventually, right? So yeah, I think that's the main thing you should work on. Time you're trying to make a play. What do we do?
Check to make sure that there's a numbers advantage.
Count numbers. Figure out what you're supposed to do. And what else are you gonna work on? What else is important?
Thinking about how they're try to predict how they're going to throw their spell so that we're able to change directions to be able to bait them to throw it one way when we're not going to go.
Right. Do it in the every time X do Y. What does that look like?
Anytime we're looking to make a play or anytime they're looking to hit us with something, we need to be thinking how we're going to counter that. So either it's in the case of they're going to try and throw a skill shot on us, we're going to try and change directions so they miss. And then in the case where we're trying to make a play on them, we want to, before that window occurs where we're trying to make the play, we want to make sure we check the map to make sure that it has any chance to succeed.
Well, that's a mouthful. So try and break it down to like, let's say like 1 or 2 habits you want to work on a game. So like basically you want to go into game and think this is the one habit I want to make better, or the one habit I want to make, really. And then you focus on that the whole game. You don't care about anything else. Everything else is just autopilot, right?
Okay.
So one of those we talked about was, every time we make a play, look at the map, count numbers, right? And if you have other things you want to work on, what else could they be? Like just throwing out. What other habits would you work on? Let's say that gets better. You could say like skill shot based. You could say like every time they throw a skill shot, I'm gonna dodge. Pick a direction beforehand, right?
Right.
For a skill shot, I'm gonna dodge the other way, right? We can force a dodge or something like that.
Try. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the formula. All right. Every time you want to do X, insert the new habit to prevent a problem from happening. Right? Problems being starting a 4v5, getting hit by the Gragas E flash, right?
Right.
That one specifically, you could be like, every time you're trying to hit someone in an even numbers fight, predict how they're gonna catch you, right? Something like that. So yeah.
I think the other one, and this is just I think it's a really quick question, and I think the answer is gonna be you as an ADC player really can't make solo plays unless you're like super fed, because for example, in a game that I lost a day or so ago, I tried to go into my jungle to take red buff, but I didn't have anyone with me, and they were sitting there waiting, both the jungler and the top laner, and I had to 2v1. So you can't make plays by yourself, really, can you? Easily, without the right cooldowns.
Did you not just kill that Veigar 1v1 earlier?
Right. You can do it in a 1v1. There's no way for you to know that it's 1v1. Shouldn't be trying to do something is really the case.
Yeah, if you have numbers disadvantage, we wanna run until a certain requirement is met, right?
What about if you don't know that they're there or not? That's the case that
what do you think? How do we check? Didn't you tell me every time we come into lane, check all the bushes?
Right, but if there's no way for you to check, then you just shouldn't attempt to do.
Yeah, you can't go, right? Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's
you have to wait until they show, right?
Yeah.
So you're like on the way to red, check all the bushes because your jungle is waiting for you. That always happens.
Right.
So yeah, it's basically it. And what is making a play look like on ADC? Then we say it's very team oriented, right? So 5v4, making a play is spam pinging, let's go.
Right.
Along those lines. And making a play in the other direction is it's a 3v4. We gotta run until we can find it, right? Making a play is sometimes surviving so you have a lot of money, right?
Got it.
It's
Yeah.
it's not always gonna be like making a super flashy play like flash to Gragas barrel and then we kill everyone. I mean that's making a play too. But that happens a lot less often nowadays
Yeah,
than
it's
this
like
other stuff, right?
Sub 5% of the time.
yeah.
All right.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Think about it this way. Making a play is outsmarting your opponents now. Like the whole, we know Shen's ulting, so if we start this 4v5 and he ults, everyone spam out, and our top laner is now winning. Right? That would be making a play, right? As a ADC.
Right.
Something along those lines. Or something like, hey, we know that they have no flash, so I put a TP ward behind them, let them push. Now we have numbers advantage, TP play, right? That's
right.
Very, very less often as like flashing skill shot. Yeah. I think you have a lot to think about. I'll definitely upload this to YouTube so you can go back and rewatch. But let me know how the games are going, and remember to whatever habit you're trying to work on. I want you to go back and rewatch those specific moments where you have that trigger. So like the whole every time you make a play thing, go back and rewatch every time you wanted to make a play. Did you work on the habit or not?
Right.
And you will start to see if it gets better or not. You're like, okay, I knew this is 4v5, so I ran. Right?
Right.
Or you're like, I knew this is 4v5 and I still try to fight. You gotta work on that, right? So
right.
Sounds good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. Then if you do have questions that come up later, hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, good luck in your games, all right? Let me know how they're going.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Have a good one.
Peace.
Peace.